Hello, Matthew. This is your mother. It's good to see you. It's 7:05 in the morning. You haven't been able to sleep for a few hours, and this is part 16, the 16th recording. So it's good to see you this morning. I've been watching you not being able to get to sleep. You slept a lot yesterday and went to sleep early, and so you've just slept your fill, and so it's good to see you. It's good to be part of your life. It's exciting to see you progressing with your publishing. You're waiting for your paperback book to be published of the parables, but you just have to have patience. And you looked this morning whether it's been published, and you're still waiting for it to appear on Amazon. But you've got a good amount of patience. Over the years, you've developed patience, and so you're able to have that, and that's a good thing. You're also waiting for your 50 Commandments book to be prepared by Bill, and that's a good thing, that you've learned to be patient, and that's commendable from you. You're preparing and you're waiting for the editing of these messages, the first 9 messages of mine, to be edited, so then you prepare that and send that in to Bill to be published too. So you've got a number of books on the go. It's exciting for you, and things are progressing really well. So this is Matthew. How are things going for you up there, Mum? I'm spending a lot of time with saints from heaven. I'm spending some time with the saints that you're going to interview, and getting to know them. They're spending time with me and getting to know you better, ask me a lot of questions, and they've been reviewing your life and watching your life, and these are the people that you've decided to interview. Leonard Ravenhill, David Wilkinson, Charles Finney, Isaiah, Hosea, and Jeremiah. They've been participating with me, getting to know me, getting to know you, especially getting to know your life, so that they'll be able to answer your questions and dialogue with you a whole lot better. Jeremiah is especially impressed with your life, and he sees that you're a man of sorrows too. He was said to be the weeping prophet, and he relates especially to you. Isaiah relates to you, and these men, Leonard Ravenhill and David Wilkinson, Charles Finney, also are very interested in you, and they're interested in waiting for you to engage them in interviews. I'm about my master's business. You're looking especially good in the blue today, with the blue shirt, blue sky, blue ocean, green tree behind you. You're looking good. I like how the hairdresser cuts your eyebrows. They've always been a bit messy, and you're looking especially handsome today, Matthew, and that's embarrassing for you to hear. So I'm enjoying my life. Yesterday, Dad spoke through you a couple of times and encouraged a couple of people. Um, Before you even realised, he mentioned to you that he'd done it, and you just thought it was you. Uh, so your father's interacting through you with people already on Earth without your knowledge. You just thought you were led to interact with people, but it was actually your father. He really enjoys going out with you and interacting with people. And that old man who had the walker, Dad was interacting with him through you, and that was really good. Yesterday, you saw a girl with a young girl with her top showing, her breast showing, and you were attracted to her. You wondered why. When she walked past you, she looked at you in the eyes, and soon enough, she was interacting with you, astral traveling, and you realized why you were attracted to her. Then she didn't look like she was a witch, but she's just a young girl, and so she came to the movies with you and was sitting through the movies, watching the movie with you, and you told her that you weren't going to spend any time with her. That after at the bus stop, you said goodbye, and Gamiel took her away and said you said to her the only way she can interact with you is if she interacts in the flesh, and um, you've got this set formula that you're using now, and that seems to work on them, and they're able to interact with you, understand a little bit about you, and then Gamiel will take him away. And often Gamiel informs them of things about you, and so they interact with an angel, not just interact with you, but they interact with your angel, and it's a wholesome sort of uh, understanding. It's a wholesome sort of encounter that they have. They not only see you in one light, and they see you interacting with other people, but they also encounter you. They also encounter Gamiel and interact with an angel that's here to protect you. So you're creating real boundaries. Your friend Sheldon Bennett said that witches will astral project just to test the weakness and see if they can make you stumble and try and tempt you. And it seems that this is what they're doing in your situation, and you're handling it okay. You sort of wish sometimes that you could convert them, that you could lead them to Christ, but you're just growing in experience, and that's a good thing, Matthew. Uh, it's nothing's wasted by the Lord, and so that's good. So we're coming around the 10-minute mark, and it's time for questions. And I have so many people in heaven that have got questions for me, and when I ask the question, the person in heaven watching on the TV screen will know that I asked their question, and they'll be tuning right in. So we've got to go through this process for the other people. So um, who's your favourite author? It depends, Mum. Depends on Christian, non-fiction. I like Nora Roberts as a fiction writer. I really like Praying Medic as a Christian author. I like Michael Van Blymen as a Christian author. Um, there's Adam Hooge, Houge. I've got a lot of Adam Hooge books, and I really like him. Yeah, so it's hard to non-fiction writer. I'd imagine Nora Roberts is a good writer. The person who asked the question says she likes Adam Hooge too, and she reads those books in heaven, does she? Yeah, she does. She's got all of his books, and she noticed that you had a lot of his books on Kindle the other day. When you were going through your Kindle, heaven was watching you, and she wondered whether he was your favourite. You certainly got the most of his books out of everyone else. Yeah, and all of his books, you can tell her all of his books that I've read, and I was most interested in his way that he loves homeless people, and he speaks about homeless people in a really nice way. And then I found out that him and his wife were homeless, sleeping in their car for a time. And this is the reason why he likes the homeless so much. It seems that if you're ever homeless, you tend to have a love for the homeless. So that's the answer to that question. Yeah, if Praying Medic had the same amount of books as Adam Hooge, Praying Medic would be up there, but he doesn't have the same amount of books. And there's been a couple of Praying Medic books that I didn't finish, but I finished all the Adam Hooge books that I've read. Yeah. Okay, Matthew, it's June again. Another question is, are you ever going to give up? Oh, it's Matthew. That's a serious question. I'm reminded of Peter's answer to Jesus when he was asked if he was going to leave Jesus too, after Jesus said, "Unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no part of me." And the crowd left Jesus, and Jesus turned around and said, "Are you going to leave us too?" And Peter said, "Where can we go? You hold the words of life." And that's where I am. I have no fun in pornography. I have no fun with prostitutes. I have no fun going to bars and drinking. I have no fun in the world. I really don't have much fun in churches. I don't go to churches. I've got nowhere to run. All I can do is persist and pursue Jesus and go on with what Jesus says. So I'm not aware that I'll ever give in or I'll ever give up. While ever finances continue to come in, I'll be producing books, and I'll just be trying to create that 100-book runway that was spoken about. And I continue to try and have variety and try and engage people with the kingdom of God, and display the kingdom in my own life. And I'll try my best not to give in or give up. So the lady that asked that question has got a follow-up question. Yeah, okay, Mum, what's the follow-up question? What advice have you got to people in heaven to get closer to Jesus? This is a question about heaven, Mum. This is Matthew. It's a question about heaven. I don't understand heaven. I guess asking questions of Jesus is a really good way to get to know him. My intimacy was founded on questions that I had for Jesus, and imagine it would work the same in heaven. Um, find the things that you question that you want to know about Jesus, and ask him questions. Different, the same on earth. You don't have to be face to face with Jesus in heaven to ask him questions. I'm sure you can just shoot him a question anytime. So ask him questions, things that you want to know, things about him that you want to know, and then ask him questions about his answers. Think about his answers and ask questions about his answers, and pursue Jesus with questions. And if you're listening to this on earth, this is one of the keys. I share. I share in my book, Seven Keys to Intimacy with Jesus, is one of the keys to intimacy with Jesus is to ask questions. And I encourage you, if you're listening to this video, to take the time out in your prayer life and your time with Jesus to ask him questions, and pursue him with question after question after question. And you can just consider that it's the same with you and other people. It's the same as you and your friends. When you sit down with your friends, you talk about things, but you ask your friend questions. And anything you want to know about your friend or your friend's life or your friend's work, anything that you want to know, you ask your friend questions. When you're close to your friend, you can ask him anything. And it's the same for Jesus. You can get more intimate with Jesus the more questions that you ask him. And so that was a good question. That's a good question from the lady's name was Margaret. So this is June. The lady's name was Margaret. So that was a good question. This is Matthew. That was a good question, Margaret. Thanks for that question. So this is June. One more short question. Do you ever tire of doing books? So this is Matthew. I do get worn out. I get a little tired. Yeah. I wish someone could do the editing process of my book. I know I improve my books when I do the editing process. When I read what's the transcript and I edit it and I fix it up, I know I improve my books, but I really wish someone else could do that part for me. I wish I could just do the video and then someone else would produce the book. But whenever I haven't got a personal assistant close enough to do that, I'll have to do it myself. But I do get tired sometimes, and that's why from time to time I take a rest and just have a few days not doing anything. And so I tend to live out of rest sometimes, and that's an important thing for me to find that place of rest and look after myself and look after what I'm made of. Yeah. Okay, this is June. That's good. That answered some questions, and I want to tell you, Matthew, that the people that ask the questions, that have the ability to ask the questions, they're really excited when you answer their questions. They're really excited to hear that I'm going to ask you the question, and they're really excited when you answer the question. They love you talking to them, and I've got this recorded, and they go back and watch the answer to their question, and they're so excited. And Margaret is especially excited, and she said she'll think of some questions to ask Jesus. Um, so it's time for a guest, and seeing as you haven't gone into the council, especially uh, for a week or so, one of the guests that you're going to speak to in the council is here, and he's just going to have a brief short word. So I'll just put David Wilkinson on, and he's going to say some words. Hello, Matthew. This is David, and I remember interacting with you straight after I died, and at that time, I didn't really know who you were. I was in the back of this car talking to this guy in the spirit, and since then, a lot has happened in your life since I died. There's been many years, and I've watched your life, and I've certainly been able to read all your books. So I've watched everything you've done, and I'll be very interested. Well, I am very interested to speak through you, and it'll be really good. You preach the same narrow road gospel as myself. Perhaps I was even a couple of notches more serious than you, and it'll be interesting to bring my voice, to bring my words to the world. The world has, like you said on your video the other day, gone to hell in a handbasket. The world is, the Christian church is pursuing Satan. Um, and they wouldn't ordinarily say, "Oh, we're not pursuing Satan," but they're pursuing the world and the lusts of the world. So many Christians are in their Nike pants and their Nike tops and their Apple iPhones and their Apple watches, and they're pursuing everything and the lusts of the world. Christians know brand names better than they know verses in the Bible. They you can quote a brand name to a Christian and there's recognition. You can quote some verses out of Isaiah or a verse out of Proverbs and they wouldn't know what it is. The word of God has become to ill effect. It hasn't had a powerful effect in many Christians' lives, and it's become true of what John said in the book of Revelation to the church of Laodicea. The church has become rich and wealthy and in need of nothing, and she thinks that she can stand on her own 2 feet, and she thinks because she's got 30,000 people in attendance in the church on weekends that she's powerful and she's amazing and she's prosperous and she's successful, and there's so many books on church growth and so many lectures and seminars on how to get the tithing and how to get the giving better, and they've got their slick, clever marketing campaigns, and they've got their slick brochures and their conference circuit, and they've got everything going on for themselves, and it's just they've just become whitewashed tombs. Inside, they're still addicted to porn. They're addicted to the things of the world. They're serving other lusts. They're serving other gods. They've gone the way of Balaam, haven't they? They've made the kingdom of God into a monetary exposition. They've learned how to prosper by using the word Jesus and using the Bible verses. They've turned it into one big money-making machine, and the faithful preacher, the faithful man who preaches the narrow road, who teaches that people need to obey Jesus. He just, like yourself, just sells a couple of hundred books per month, and he's not popular. He's not on the television circuit. He's not on the conference circuit. He's not even invited to churches to preach. There's pastors reading his books, but they're not inviting him to preach. And this is true, mate. And you're going to develop a really good relationship with me over the years, because you're going to be my point man. You're going to speak for me, and I've got a lot to say. I'm fed up with the modern church, and even the little small time pastors have allowed fakery to come in, and there's so many false doctrines that are spreading the world, and there's hyper grace and dominionism, and so many people think the Christian church is going to rule and reign and take control of the world, and so many popular heresies out there that so many Christians are taken hold of because they don't read their Bibles. They've got no understanding of truth, and so mistruth can take over. And so it's good to talk to you. It's good to be introduced to you. I'm going to speak more often in the council, and I just got a sad heart. I thought the world would turn around, and but it seems that there's not many true prophets in the world today. There's not many people speaking out. It's not popular to teach that people should be set apart, and they should come out of the world, and they shouldn't be lusting after the things of the world, and they should be spending their money on the kingdom and financing kingdom things, and that their pursuit should be God, and they should love God and love their fellow man. They shouldn't be spending all their money on themselves and lusting after all the things of the world for themselves. And so many Christians are in that position. So many Christians are just buying things for themselves, and it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing indeed. And there's so much work that could be done by faithful ministers of the gospel. David's servant could be so well funded if people just gave up on the lust of the world. And there's so many ministries that would be so much better funded if people stopped spending money on themselves. So I don't want to depress you, my friend, but it was good of your mother to put me on, and we'll get to know each other as time goes by. See you later. So this is June. So that was a bit of an emotional plea by David Wilkinson, and you felt the gravity of his emotion, Matthew, and it hit you, and you're feeling a little depressed now. And he's just so upset, and you know the word inconsolable. He's just been in tears in my house. He's so honoured to have the opportunity to speak through you, and he's honoured of the Lord. And there's if I mention the saints that were in my living room with me, you'd be shocked. And they all want to speak through you. They all want to have a voice through you. And, um, so this was really good, Matthew. I'll let you go and upload this, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless.